Greetings, teachers. Today I want to share just a quick tip that I think is really helpful, along with a reminder that goes with our theme for the week. You notice I've got the pause button here, a pause. Oftentimes when we show videos in class, we watch from the beginning to the end and then we have a discussion. And I think that's really effective and can work wonderfully. But occasionally, it could be really helpful to spark interest in a discussion by pausing on a frame somewhere in the video and then using that as a springboard for a discussion. So with this lesson, Matthew 14:22 to 33, there's a couple of videos in the curriculum, and I wanted to show how this could work with this particular lesson. So this is another one where we just have a few short verses, and it's a wonderful story of Peter walking on water. And it's going to be super relatable because as Peter sinks, he's going to experience feelings that all of us really relate to. And so we're going to want to develop that with our students to help them feel like they're Peter and to find the strength of the Savior just like Peter did as he was sinking. And so pictures are great. And so we've got a couple choices here. You could start out with a picture like we have here and say, we're going to look at Peter and let's try to relate to him. But if I were going to use the video here, the Bible video, we could invite Sally or David or whoever. We could say, you're going to be in charge of the pause button. We're going to look at what Peter felt and try to connect with him today. So you know the story. As soon as Peter starts to sink in the water, I want you to pause the video right there. So I'll illustrate how a student can do it or you as a teacher can do it. But we're just going to start with the video, but pause it. And so here we go. Peter's starting to walk on water. And you can start from the beginning of this still, but you're going to, as soon as we get to the dramatic point, we're going to pause the video. Good. Okay, I did pretty good. So you've got Peter right there. And so this is the image where it's as dramatic as it gets. We've got these great things that we can talk about now. We're going to say that's terrifying, but if we were to use other words, what is Peter feeling right now? And let's write these on the board perhaps. So he's terrified or he's scared. What's he thinking? Death is imminent. I made a mistake. Whatever it is, and we're going to just list that and we have opportunities to relate. Which of these have you ever felt before? Have you felt any of these things in the last week? We're pausing, and so we're looking at Peter and we're seeing and we're feeling a little bit. We have these other questions. Well, I don't really go out on the water and sink like this, but what are modern situations that bring upon all these feelings that we listed on the board? Is it school? Is it social life? Is it family challenge? What are the things that cause you and I in our world to feel those things just like Peter did? Are there other things in life that are causing you to feel fear or to feel like you're sinking? And so we're really connecting to the scriptures here by just pausing on this frame. Now, this could be a time where we just pause right here and we can finish the video at this point, or we don't have to finish it at all. But this could be a great time to jump into the scriptures, the verses for the day, and say, I just want you to read these verses and look for truths about the Savior that can help you turn to him when you're feeling these things. And so we're going to have most of our experience in class on the pause button. And maybe after you read that, you can say, let's just watch it portray on the screen now. Let me show you one more opportunity in this lesson. This one's kind of tender with a situation with a man who has thoughts of ending his life. And so you want to be discerning and deciding if this is a good fit for your class or if this could be triggering in any way. But if you choose to use it, you've got to look for here, looking for what the young man did in the video to turn his focus to Jesus Christ while he was sinking. And so you could do the same thing with the pause here and say, we're going to pause. As soon as you see him doing something to turn his focus to Jesus Christ, tell me to pause, or you can have the student pause. And so if I were to play it right here.
And so I started walking back and made it all the way home, and I woke up the next morning and I got the strongest prompting in the world. I needed to fast. I just put down my phone. I didn't want to touch any technology. And so I pulled out my scriptures and I prayed and prayed.
So we can pause right there And and so that's the first thing we've got listed here is he puts down his phone or he picks up his scriptures and he prays. And to say, why do you think that helped him start to rise above the sinking feeling? Have you ever experienced that with those tools as well? And so the pause gives us a chance just to quickly talk about it and have a discussion and to relate more deeply. Instead of at the end of the video saying, what do you remember from 3 minutes ago that he did? We're doing it just right there as it's said. So that's the tip. The pause button can be a great resource if you choose to do that in this lesson and in any others. Now, as a reminder, this week we're trying to focus on seeing learners the way that God sees them. And so sometimes students will say things, share comments that test us in that way. If you watch the video for yesterday's lesson, Brother Fullmer shared an example. We're going to watch a teacher live this one out. I'm going to pause the video to analyze it.
So I'd love to hear, what are some of the things you do to keep the Sabbath day holy? Spencer.
Well, my family likes to watch sports on Sunday. We do things like football, basketball, baseball, soccer.
As the teacher focuses on the student's comment,
and I pause, her smile, and we're going to freeze that right there. You know the feeling of a student says something and you're going to smile and you're wondering, how do I respond to this? When you ask a question and they respond in a particular way that you may not agree with or see the same way. But we're invited to silently think, what experiences and relationships might this student have that would cause them to think a little bit differently than I do? And what else do I need to know to fully understand where they're coming from? And so this student probably comes from a different family and different circumstances and sees things differently. And we're just grateful that he came. And we want to know him better and see where he comes from. And so we might ask questions to understand that a little bit better. Well, that's all I've got for today. Tip and a reminder, may the Lord bless you as you engage in this wonderful work. We're in it together.